Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, and I am a goddess guide, tarot reader, and holistic healer. And today I'm going to be bringing you a very special reading all about are you on the right path in terms of job, career, life purpose? Sorry, Spirit's just hijacking what I was just about to introduce because I just wanted to make it really clear that there is no right or wrong path per se. Everyone has free will, and so this is just, use it for entertainment purposes, use it for general guidance, for reassurance. Perhaps if you kind of already in a transition and you're thinking about going one way or another, if you're thinking about retraining, if you're kind of starting to think about actually I'm in this job and sure it pays bills, but really what really would actually make me much happier than that, what would make my heart sing. And so it's really about just use it as a kind of self-discovery tool. So please don't feel for some of you are oh my gosh, this reading is saying this thing and now I'm completely on the wrong path and this is terrible and I've stuffed my life up and blah blah blah. Don't go down that track, because I've been there. So I know what that's like, what they can feel like. So never use a tarot reading for that kind of purpose. Just use it for readings. I generally like to advise my clients that your intuition speaks the loudest, so use them as a reassurance for things that you intuitively already know to be true. So with that disclaimer said, let's move on to the introduction to the piles. So we've got 4 different piles here. It may be that you're drawn to more than one pile, in which case there might be different messages you might need to cherry pick from across 2 piles. And maybe that you're not you're not going to be on some cut and dry black and white linear career. It might be that you're going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So maybe just see, if for some reason you're drawn to 2, don't worry about that. There might just be some messages across the 2 piles that you might be able to blend together for your own bespoke message, I guess. So pile number 1, the time sets will be below. So if you know straight away from looking at these which one is your pile, I will see you in your reading. But if you'd like to just be introduced to the crystals, I'm going to go through those now. So pile number 1, we've got I think it's called chrysocolla. It's a lovely, sorry, the lighting is not picking it up terribly well, but it's a green, turquoisey green and black stone. It's really beautiful. And the tarot deck I'll be using for pile number 1 is the Line Strider tarot deck. Pile number 2, we have this gorgeous amethyst crystal here. Just wait for it to focus. Well, there we go. And the movie tarot. And pile number 3, we have malachite crystal and the everyday witch tarot. And pile number 4, we have this labradorite. Just want to get it so you can see. There we go, the gorgeous blue. The labradorite crystal and the wild unknown tarot. So just take a moment. If you're not quite sure straight away, perhaps just do whatever you need to do to connect to your intuition. Take a really deep breath, close your eyes, take a moment just to feel your energy sink into the ground, reopen your eyes when you feel ready, when you feel connected with your heart, and then just see which pile intuitively draws you straight in without thinking about it, and then go to that pile. Okay, my loves, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile 1s. If you chose the chrysocolla crystal and the Line Strider tarot, this is going to be your reading on are you on the right career path or job or life purpose? And we're going to have a little look at what might be more in alignment if you're not feeling in alignment. So I have already shuffled these off camera, so you didn't need to watch that bit. So I'm just going to start with some shuffling, and then I've already pre-pulled some oracle cards, which we will have a look at in a minute. Okay, let's have a look. So we have 10 of Swords. Yeah, so some of you might be in a bit of an ending of a situation at the moment. 10 of Swords can often speak of things, kind of essentially a bit of a death, I suppose, a bit of an ending energy. We've also got the World, which can also mean cycles coming to completion. And wow, and we've got death, but in reverse, but no, Spirit's saying upright. Okay. Just by the way, for those of you who are new to my channel, I do read intuitively. So, you might have certain I'm clairaudient and sentient and clairvoyant, so I pick up messages that way. So if you have different meanings for the cards or other intuitive messages that come through, by all means go with what your gut is telling you. But I'm reading as a channel. In this situation, I definitely feel like for some of you in pile one, now this won't, because it's a general reading, it might not be true for all of you, but I feel like for many of you, you might be coming to the end of a cycle with either a job, a career, with what you felt might have been your life purpose up until this point. It definitely feels like something that was bringing you down, or something that was causing a lot of mental conflict, because swords is a lot to do with your mind and your thoughts. I'm going to get a little bit more. I feel like that was in the past. Now we'll get some what's going on right now. What's going right now for pile ones in terms of their career. Temperance, balance. Yeah, finding balance. So I'm sensing there's something to do with, like, I'm hearing a balance between like what your logical side is telling you and what your intuitive side is telling you, or what your masculine side and your feminine side is telling you. So there's very much a need to come into a sort of a masculine feminine balance and healing, to really just start to listen to your soul. Because with all this purple around here, this is like indicative of your sorry, not your throat chakra, your third eye chakra, and also your crown chakra. So there's definitely a need to balance that side of you, that soul part of you, or that intuitive part of you, or what your intuition's telling you with what like your logic or your thoughts might have been telling you in the past. What's coming in? What's coming in from my pile ones? Yeah. Wow, the Magician. Yeah. Stepping into that is absolutely beautiful energy to get. Stepping into your self-sovereignty, stepping into your ability to manifest your life the way you want it to be. The Magician is a very powerful card to get. It's a major arcana card. So it's, in fact, you've got several major arcana cards actually: the World, Death, Temperance, and Magician. Now when you get many major arcana cards in a reading, that tends to signify that you're going through major life transitions or major life themes, things that are going to affect you potentially for a long time going forward. Very significant life, a very significant point on your life journey. And the Magician is all about coming into power. He's got all the elements here. So he's got the Pentacles, so he controls what happens on the earth plane, and he has the magical ability to control what happens on the earth plane. As well as there's the infinity symbol here, which I feel like is also bringing me back to, with the Temperance, we had that message of balancing your yin and yang and your feminine and your masculine energy. Yeah, so the Magician is all about, it's also all about that balance of, because the Magician has the power to control all those elements, like air, which is the mental plane, cups, which is water, which is the emotional side of you. So it's ensuring that you're doing something or manifesting something in your life that's going to make you emotionally fulfilled, something that's going to make you mentally stimulated, something that is also going to give you passion and fire. That's the Wands energy. And then is also going to, with the Pentacle, is going to basically give you a certain level of security and stability. And, Pentacle's all about things that are on the earth. So, a certain amount of job security and that kind of thing. So that's really beautiful that that's coming through, because I feel like if some of you have gone through quite a harrowing ending of some kind of job or something that was quite stressful perhaps, and the cycle ending out and the sort of death, perhaps almost like even like some of you might be going through a bit of a soul awakening with death and then temperance, a bit of a healing, an ending of some, perhaps even like, a certain amount of like your ego controlling what you do with your life, in the sense that like your ego might be saying, and that's not like, it's not saying ego bad, soul good or anything like that. It's not about that duality or that binary, black and white thing. It's about looking at where your ego might have been trying to protect you, or doing something that your ego told you would bring you, say, a certain amount of material abundance, or like status or achievement, or something that would like make you look good in front of other people, or a job that would sound really cool, that if you told people you did it, they would be like, ooh, wow, that's so impressive, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you do that job. But actually deep down you're like in this really stressful Ten of Swords, like oh, get me out of this, like this is actually horrible. So definitely there might have been a bit of a conflict there between like what you truly wanted to do and your kind of ego. So there's a bit of a, perhaps an ego death going on, and a sense of like coming into that like inner magician, that ability to manifest what it is that you really want to do. So let's see if we can get some more. Yeah, and making a decision about that Ace of Swords. It's very very decisive energy. You've got this like hawk or eagle on a post, and he's wearing a crown. So again, it's about coming into that self-sovereignty, which we mentioned before. He's got this quite phallic symbol of this sword being like, yep, this is the path I'm going to go. So for some of you, you might be, and it's right under death, so you might be certainly ending something, cutting something away, making a decision to completely draw that line on something. So maybe you have been feeling a bit like, oh, maybe I've not been on the right path. You know, maybe this does need to close out. This cycle does need to end. For some of you, the world might speak of, just because this is a general reading, there's lots of different potential interpretations that Spirit are bringing through for different people. So this won't be for all of you, but for a certain number of you, it could be that the world is kind of saying, you know, this cycle's ending, this Ten of Swords situation is ending. But with the world here, you might be coming into something that is going to expand your horizons so much more. And with the Magician underneath it, it's like you can make your world, essentially. You can get your stuff out there in the world. You know, so there's definitely a sense of, for some of you, this closing of a chapter is really meaning that straight off the back of it, there's this beautiful, expansive, new worldly, global horizon opening up. It might mean that you're going to travel. It might mean that you do something along the lines of that's linked with travel, possibly. Okay, and they're just, sorry, they're knocking the oracle cards off the table because they want me to stop blabbing and and talk about the oracle cards. I'm going to leave that to one side. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just going to pick those up. All right. Okay, Spirit, let's go ahead with these ones. So we've got the Oyster card. We've got the Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. We've got the Muses. Look at art that inspires you. Goddesses of inspiration. We've got Nightingale. This is another one from the Kim Kranz Animal Oracle deck. We have got from the Aboriginal Goddess Oracle, we've got the Rhiannon card. I'll go through all of these in a moment for you. We have got from the Fairy Oracle, Fairy Oracle deck, the Fairy Godmother card. Very magical, beautiful card to get. We have got the Fairy who was kissed by the Pixies. And also from the Aboriginal Oracle, we've got Emotional Response. So the channel messages that I got through for your pile 1 are that there's something. Okay, so if you chose this pile, first of all, this line strider deck, it's very artistic. It's very like it's all painted in watercolor colors. It tends to be the deck that when I'm doing private readings for clients, it's often my artists and creatives that immediately go for this deck if they have the option of picking a tarot deck themselves. Now, my feeling was when I got the messages through for the oracle cards was that there's some sort of an artistic or creative gift that most of you have that at the moment you're kind of keeping like okay, cheesy joke, but sort of, this isn't a clam anyway, it's an oyster, but clammed up about. Oh, that is really bad. That's like a really bad dad joke. Anyway, you're keeping clammy about it. And it's interesting because actually earlier when I was talking about temperance, I stumbled on the word, let me just find the card for you. I stumbled on the word, I went to say third eye chakra and I actually said throat chakra. They're drawing me back to the fact that there is a triangle around her throat chakra here that's pointing upwards. And it's a sense of like balancing what your inspiration that you're getting in and what you're putting out. And at the moment, it feels like you've got this sort of artistic or creative soul, but you're not sharing it. Because with the oyster card, it's like you've got a gift, you've got a pearl inside this oyster, and it's like at the moment there's just this hard shell that's just like kind of closed on top of that, and nothing's coming out. And you can see there's all this sort of like light that's kind of shining out from the oyster card, but but it's like it's not open. And also we've got the Nightingale card, which is all about, that's very much linked with your throat chakra, because it's very much to do with like basically sharing your gift, like sharing your talent, expressing yourself, like singing your song. So for some of you, you may be songwriters, you may be musicians, artists, writers, any kind of storytellers in some sense, content creators, speakers, orators, maybe you campaign for things. It could be any of those kind of things, or you use your voice to help others. Whatever it might be, or that's something you want to do. And with the Nightingale card here, it's very much saying like, you've got to sing, you've got to sing your little song like this little nightingale. You've got to open yourself up. And also we had with Paul the Venetian, he is saying, he's literally saying what I'm saying. I love when the cards will line up. Share your gifts with grace, and waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So you will be getting, if you have gone through this Ten of Swords situation, which I'm sorry if you have, because that looks pretty brutal. If there has been some kind of ending, like don't fear, because that ending is clearing space for new inspiration, new love to come to you. Now this isn't a love reading, so it's not talking about romantic love. This is talking about like finding love for what you do, finding love within yourself and for yourself to go after what you want to do. Now, also there's a message with the Goddess card that we got was the Muses. Look at art that inspires you, Goddess of inspiration. So we've got two cards talking about inspiration. Waves of inspiration are coming to you. Goddesses of inspiration are there for you to tap into. The Muse is there for you to start drawing on, to start channeling that, whatever it is, that wisdom, that artwork, that creative work, that song, that TikTok video, that, whatever it is you want to, oh my gosh, sorry. I just saw, I was just about to pull the Nightingale card, and a whole lot of birds just flew by. So, and they were all kind of chirping really loudly. So, I don't think the camera would have picked up the sound, but anyway, it's just like further confirmation from Spirit being like fly, little bird, fly, like sing your song and put your stuff out in the world. And like anything that, like maybe looking at art, if you've been in quite a, say, maybe restricted environment, where you haven't allowed yourself to do much creativity, there might be what might help inspire you to step into that a bit more is to really follow artists and content creators and so forth, whatever it is that you want to get into. Follow those who inspire you, because that might really help trigger you to be like, actually maybe I could do that. Like maybe what they're doing about this, like I could put my my thumbprint on that industry or that niche or that art form or whatever it might be. And I've been guided to say, like, don't kind of worry too much about where it's going to go in terms of say like financial stability or money or status or any of that kind of thing. It's really important that you come at that, like it's what I was saying earlier with the balancing, with the temperance and balancing your masculine and your feminine side, your logic and your sort of logical rational side and your feminine intuitive side, is that because you got two sacral chakra cards, which are feminine intuitive cards. The sacral chakra is all about passion, like emotional receptivity, flow, basically creativity, like tapping into that like creative force to like start a project. So there's like a double whammy message about like just just do things for a bit. Obviously I'm not saying like, run off from your job and all of that. And if be responsible, be accountable, be responsible, make sure you've got a roof over your head and etc. But then aside from that, try and build in some time as much as you can to explore your creativity, to just tap into inspiration. Now this can look like, maybe you still have to have a 9-to-5 job for now, Monday to Friday, whatever it might be. That's fine. Spirit's not saying like, oh, just throw the towel in immediately necessarily. Like, use your weekends or whatever to like go to art galleries or go to museums or go to, I realize in many places I've just been reminded, obviously it's still quite COVID-y and lockdowns and stuff, but as much as possible do things online, like maybe take a course or like get some art supplies and just start playing for fun. It's all about like emotional response. Like there's a cup here with all this like yellow and orange that's just like spilling out of it. Like this is like my cup spilleth over kind of feeling. Like, and also we were talking about with Paul the Venetian, waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So this is coming to you. Something that's going to emotionally fulfill you is coming to you. But it's really important that you like tap into that inspiration, that you call on the muse, that you don't sort of keep yourself shut in this like oyster shell, and you sing your song. Now we've also got the fairy oracle cards. We've got fairy godmother. So I feel like and she's holding this like beautiful kind of orangey apple out. So it's like you're going to get, I feel like it's a very similar energy and card to the muses, where it's like you're going to get this, offer maybe. You're going to get this like this beautiful, it's quite cosmic with all these stars here. And I'm drawn to the fact that there's a 2 and a 5, which adds up to 7. So it could be some of you are life path 7, some of you might be a life path 5 or life path 2 in numerology. So it could be worth checking that out as well to see if there's any ideas in terms of your numerology, your life path number that might give you some ideas of natural talents you could exploit. But definitely with fairy godmother, there's this beautiful feminine energy that's there to help you, that's going to be guiding you along with this new venture or this path or this more creative way of being. Like I say, it doesn't have to be a cut and dry like you're changing jobs per se, but there's something that you need to do that's like sharing your voice, putting your stuff out there, being creative, using your creative talents, using your artistic talents if you have those. And those don't have to be, like a painter, sort of, oh, I'm going to go to Paris and like do watercolor paintings or something like that. It doesn't have to look like that. Art and being creative, you can build that into different jobs. Like even like, how can you build that into your life or your existing job as it is? And the more you start to like open up to the muse and open up to inspiration, the more the fairy godmother energy will come in and like guide you. And it will be those like little intuitive nudges you'll get, like, hey, why don't you go take this random route home and just pop into, I don't know, say for example like an art shop or something, and you're like, oh, I'm tired, I just want to go home, blah, blah, blah. But then there's just that feeling of like a dog like pulling at the corner of, at your trousers, and you're just like, oh, just have this really strong feeling like I really just need to go to the shop for some reason tonight, so I'm just going to go. And then you go, and then they are having a gathering of artists that evening at the shop, and you meet someone and they're really awesome and inspiring, and you see like they've got some very specific type of art or photography or, I don't know, music, or they're sharing something that you're just like, oh my gosh, like these are my people, like these people are awesome, or that's really inspiring, or like whatever they're talking about. Maybe they're like sharing something about some issue that you're really passionate about, and you're just like, oh my gosh, yes, like they have given me an example of like they're being a role model. They've given me an example of like someone who's standing up and using their talents and doing that. And now now that I'm seeing an example of it in action, it's like, well, yeah, like why can't I do it? Like I can do it just as much. And that's coming back to Rhiannon. So that's kind of Rhiannon's message, because Rhiannon was, she went through, I'm not going to go into the whole myth, but basically she, sorry, give me 1 second. They're guiding me to have a look in the book, because there's a specific message from Rhiannon that they want me to read. So here we go. So I'm just going to read the guidance bit. So basically, her message is stand solid in your truth. You know within yourself your decisions have been honorable despite what others may believe. There is another aspect to what is happening in your situation, and the bystanders are unaware of the full scope of this. As a result of your respect for the others involved, you've chosen to keep the details to yourself, which is not helping your cause. And I feel like that's kind of linking to that oyster thing of like, there's things you want to share and speak about and express yourself about, but you're not, which isn't really helping you. So it's like another message from the goddesses to say, or spirit to say, like, you know, don't like don't not sing. So then, like, instead of saying it in double negative, sing, like, use your voice, like, you know, put yourself out there. So find within yourself the strength and courage to see this through to the end. It is a bit of a rocky road ahead, but you will quickly triumph and find yourself back in the favor of those who doubted you, and they will learn from you the lesson of standing strong in your beliefs. Yeah. So I definitely feel like for some of you, it's like there might be a bit of a, because we had that temperance, and I felt like there was a bit of a balance between like your masculine and feminine sides, and it could be also to do with like healing, perhaps say either inner beliefs or beliefs you've picked up from others or others' projections onto you of like, well, this isn't, you know, this isn't really going to work. How do you expect to support yourself doing something creative? Like art isn't going to, you know, like art's not going to put food on the table. Like don't end up a starving artist, blah, blah, blah. All the kind of like typical kind of Western projections or beliefs about that kind of thing. And like those aren't always true. Like find ways to kind of, you know, stand up for what you actually want to do, for what brings you joy, this cup, you know, this thing that once you find it, once you find your passion, and once you start singing your song and enjoying it, you know, I mean, certainly do what you need to do to pay your bills and stuff, but you know, as much as you can, try and start standing firm for what you really want to go for and what brings you passion and excitement and creativity. And then we also had the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. And my feeling is with this card, or the message that was coming through was sort of like, you're not really meant to be in a 9-to-5 type of job. It's like you're this fairy here, and you're kind of around all these people who are, okay, how do I say this in a way that they're content to do the norm is what I'm getting. And they're just quite happy kind of going with the flow. And, you know, you can see they're not very lit up. They're just kind of earthy and in these brown and green colors. And they're sort of quite humdrum kind of little characters. And, you know, that's fine. They're quite happy, you know, with their little mushroom house and stuff. And that's cool. But like, you're this fairy. You're just so lit up and bright and have these gorgeous wings. And like I don't think do they have wings? Maybe some of them have wings. I can't really see their wings. It doesn't look like they do. I think they're just little creatures that like run around the ground like little pixie. I don't think pixies have wings. I should know this, but I don't. Anyway, the point is that you are the fairy and you have huge gorgeous wings and you're lit up and you light up and you light up the room, and this is what you look like around everyone else, like at your job or anywhere you are. You're this fairy, and I mean, you know, you're kissed by the pixies. The pixies love you, but like also go be a fairy. Like go sing your song and go be, you know, like step into your truth and be who you were like born to be, and what brings you happiness. Like what makes you this lit up. Like you can see this fairy is like, she is just so happy. And it's like, you're not meant to, if you stay like this, you'll just be one of these little like animal creatures, like la la la, like this guy. Like he looks a bit like, yeah, I'm just here. Like I've been here for a while. It's okay, but you know, whatever. Like, they're fine, but they're not really lit up, whereas this fairy is just too slowly lit up. Anyway, I'm being told to stop blabbing. My goodness, this has gone long enough. So, pile ones, I hope that helped. I hope that resonated a little bit. Please leave a comment below if this resonated for you. I would really love to hear. And I will see you in the next reading. Oh, my love. Bye. Hi there, Pal 2. If you picked this amethyst crystal here and the movie tarot, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to start with just a few tarot cards to get a feel for what might have been going on in your situation in the past, to see if this is your pile, if it resonates. And then we'll move on to the oracle cards with some guidance from Spirit. So, whoa, that one wants to come out. What's been going on? The Hierophant. Yes. So, pile 2, some of you might have been in some kind of quite authoritative, because I think this is the Godfather here, like quite authoritative work or job or something like that before. Let's get a bit more of a feel. Okay, so we've got the Hierophant, we've got, Five of Cups. So this can definitely speak of walking away from something that isn't serving you. Page of Wands, the Lovers, and Page of Cups. Okay, so just give me a moment to read. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that the camera shot could get all these cards in. So what I've got through for you, Pile 2, is that at the moment you might be in a bit of a situation where I'm hearing like controlling. With this Hierophant here, this can often speak of a figure of authority, something quite traditional. I'm hearing something potentially quite patriarchal, so you might be in sort of a corporate type job, something like that, something with a very hierarchical job, like structure to it, that's quite controlling, quite domineering, quite authoritative, or just very it's kind of keeping you in a box is what I'm hearing, and it's not making you very happy, because with this Five of Cups here, you can see there's these eyes with tears coming out of them in these two cups here. And Five of Cups, often it's usually to do with, in the Rider-Waite, it's got a picture of a man standing looking at 3 cups that have fallen down and all the water's drained out of them. But if he turns around, there's 2 other cups that are the right way up. Yeah, my feeling is in this case that it might be that you're not especially fulfilled in whatever this role is that you've been in or are currently in or are thinking of shifting out of. And with the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups here, there's and the Lovers actually. Actually, we'll start with, the Page of Wands and the Lovers, because with these 2 cards here, there's a need to step into this Page of Wands energy, which is all about like finding your passion. Wands are to do with the fire element, and to do with like passion, creativity, spark, fire, joy, optimism, that kind of thing. And we've got the Lovers as well, which is symbolic of finding something that it's kind of really just backing up the Page of Wands energy of saying, this is what you would, there's a need to find something that you would absolutely love to do, and that lights you up in this Page of Wands way. Like with Ray Charles here, I feel like for some of you, you might be musicians or may want to be musicians, singers, songwriters, pianists, maybe you're into jazz or something like that. This is a general reading, so that won't be for everyone, but generally speaking though, it's about really tapping into that creativity. and finding that inner passion and something that you love to do and something that's going to emotionally fulfill you, because we've got like passion and emotion here with wands and cups. Cups is all to do with emotional fulfillment. And you know, with the page of cups coming out under the 5 of cups, there's something that's been probably this hierophant situation or person. If this isn't a corporation you've been working for, this might be a boss or something like that, or someone, you know, or in a belief system or a parent figure or something like that, that's kind of said, hey, you should really go down this path, and you've been trying to do it, but really your heart's not in it. And you know, these 3 cups have fallen over, and you've invested a certain amount in this career path, I feel like, or this job, but it's just not bringing you contentment. It's not making you happy. I see some of you going home and being really quite upset, like quite emotionally drained, or just not really lit up. And with this page of cups here, this is like pages are about messengers. So it's like a messenger from spirit saying, like Ray Charles is like, hey, like you got to find your passion. And then I don't know who this is. It looks like some kind of character from a Shakespeare, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to look that up, because this is a new deck, sorry, by the way, which is why I'm looking it up, because the decks are very specific to, you know, if you're drawn to a certain deck, it's very specific to a certain reading. So let me just see who this character is. Page of Cups, does it say? Maybe not. Oh, it's Joseph. It is a Shakespeare one. It's Joseph Fiennes. Sorry, I couldn't really tell. I've actually seen that movie, but I couldn't really tell that was definitely him. Anyway, Joseph Fiennes in Shakespeare in Love. So there might be something. There might be for some of you, there might be a message in that some of these movies, like The Godfather, the Ray Charles one, the biopic about Ray Charles, which is a brilliant movie, by the way, Shakespeare in Love. Maybe there's something to do with like writing for movies, being a screenwriter, doing some kind of creative storytelling, because there's definitely with the Page of Wands some kind of creativity element coming through and something that brings you emotional satisfaction. So maybe something to do with, like Shakespeare. Maybe like some of you love like English literature and stories and writing, and like writing novels, I'm hearing, or telling stories like Shakespeare did, either tragedies or comedies or love stories, maybe, because this is Shakespeare in Love. So that could be another potential thing. I'm going to get a couple more, and then we're going to move on to the oracle part of the reading. Are there any more messages? Might not be, but we'll just see if Spirit has anything else to say. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow. Yeah, Queen of Wands, Ace of Coins, 3 of Wands, and Knight of Wands. So we've got just a lot of Wands energy here, my goodness. So we've got Page of Wands. So this is, I feel like, the energy that's coming to you now. So these are kind of maybe what you've been going through. So we're going to move those up a little bit, because that energy's shifting out. So we're going to move those up. The energy that you're coming into is this Page of Wands and Page of Cups. So there's going to be some and the Lovers. So we've got these messages of find what lights you up, find what brings emotional satisfaction, find what brings passion, find something you love and adore. You know, because you've got these two. The Lovers is you know, when it's related to career, it's to do with, you know, finding something you love. What do you love to do? Think about what you absolutely love to do. And then we have so much Wands energy. So Page of Wands, you're just starting to get this creative fire lit up in you. And what's coming through for you is you're then going to step into eventually this Queen of Wands energy. So you're going to be a master in your field on whichever this creative field is for you. Knight of Wands as well. So you're going to be, you know, Knights are all about taking action. Knights are all about going after what you want. If you think of the quintessential knight on a horse, knight in shining armor on a horse, gumming towards what it wants. Now, the Wands knight, the knight in the Wand suit, is the fastest moving knight because it's fire. So it's just woof, it's just there, super passionate. It's that spark, that drive, that va-va-voom. So, you're really going to be stepping into that. You're going to be stepping into your sovereignty. You're going to be stepping into taking action. You've got Three of Wands, which is all about like looking out to the future. I'm hearing like you've already sown the seeds. So there's some kind of creative talent that you already have within you. Maybe you've already been, you might have been in some corporate job or something like that, but on the side you've been, say, rustling up stories or music or screenplays or content for something or whatever it might be. And you've not really put it out there before, but now that you're walking away from this old investment that didn't work out and walking towards your Two of Cups or your lover's situation, which is like, hold on a minute, like don't look at the thing that you invested in and didn't work out. Like look at the Two Cups you've got left, because what you've got left is this beautiful, passionate, fiery, like just so much Wands energy, so much creative power you have, pile 2, a lot of creative firepower. So you're really going to be, your path is really going to light up for you. So my feeling is like you're not necessarily on the wrong path per se, but it's kind of like there's some energies that, you could tap into a bit more to like fire up that fire even more, to move from being like a Page of Wands into this Queen of Wands, to be sort of more sovereign in their energy. And Ace of Coins is all about a new beginning in something like a career, a job, money. Coins is literally to do with money, so it's to do with like you're going to get this new beginning, you're going to get this offer in this thing that brings you emotional satisfaction, in this thing that is like really creative. And Three of Wands is often to do with like standing on a like the edge of a cliff and like overlooking a massive expansive ocean at all your ships that are coming in. So it's like your seeds have been sown, your abundance is coming, like things are going to come to you once you step into this energy, this Queen of Wands energy, and it's coming to you. I feel like there's this look at the difference between the colors. So you've got this very cold, quite masculine, quite bluey, kind of quite cool energy up here, and sort of almost like rain, tears, that kind of thing. It's quite sad. And then it moves into this like beautiful yellow, orange, like a lot of like, look at all the orange. My goodness, it's just like fire, passion, like boom, 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 boom. And you don't have to worry about like not making money, because it's just saying that like you're going to get this offer. So whatever this thing is that is maybe you're walking away from, or is ending, or has already ended, maybe, because I feel like that's sort of slightly past energy, or energy you're transitioning out of now, or you might transition out of in the very near future. But you've got all this, you've just got an absolute abundance of creative energy available to you, and you're going to take action on those creative projects. You're going to have that mastery of that creative gift, have that self-sovereignty. Things are going to come to you, and you're going to get this, you're going to get your coin, girl or boy. You're going to make your money. So don't worry. Don't fret. Don't look at these 2 cups that have spilled over, because you're going to make this work for you. I see some of you almost, I'm here. Okay. So I'm being guided to talk about the Devil Wears Prada, because, maybe some of you are going to turn your experiences in your workplace into like, I don't know, like a secret novel or a screenplay or something like that. And yeah, well, that's quite a specific message. That might be literally for like one person, but maybe something along those lines. Like you'll alchemize what you've done. You'll use what you've done. So like, don't worry that, like, don't look at it as like, oh my gosh, that was just, I was on the complete wrong path, and that was the complete, like wrong investment for me. Like I've just wasted all this time and all this effort, like, trying to go down this career path or this job and it just didn't work out, or it's just not been emotionally fulfilling me. But like, just know that like whatever it was that you did, you can use everything you did in your next, in this creative field. Like it'll be like a mine of inspiration and information for you. Right, so we're going to move on to the alchemy cards now. So we've got Boulder from the Aboriginal Chakra Goddess cards. Oh, that's Gnome from the Fairy Oracle. Turtle from the Animal Oracle by Kim Krans. Maya, to bloom, find a way to embrace the magic around you, the Maker from the Goddess Inspiration Oracle. Purple Chakra Fairy. We have got Lord Shiva, Transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given, dance with the universe. If you can still see that. Okay, Dragonfly. Let me move this over. There we go. Oh, cute, the Maiden. Oh my gosh, so cute. I love that card, that Fairy Oracle card. Okay, so first of all, I got some channel messages through when I had pulled your cards, but they're nudging me to the message in the book about the Purple Chakra Fairy. So let me just read that first, and then I'll go on to the messages I got. So, Purple Chakra Fairy. So, the Purple Chakra Fairy represents the brow chakra or third eye and is located at the center of the forehead. The Purple Fairy symbolizes the connection to our intuition and our unconscious self, which is linked to universal wisdom. She is on a constant journey to seek the truth and better understand the wisdom of the world and the wisdom of the sacred ancients which have passed before her. This wisdom gives her the ability to understand things from a higher perspective. She trusts herself to know that the universe is not just what surrounds her here in this world, but extends to other realms and other wisdoms. The Purple Fairy's ability to see beyond this world into others provides her with a keen sense of self-responsibility to follow her soul's path, to fearlessly trust her intuition and psychic abilities, and know she has the guidance and knowledge of timeless wisdom shared by those to reside in the universal spirit. The Purple Fairy encourages you to trust in your inner self and acknowledges the knot which has taken up residence in your tummy of late. What you are thinking is real. You already know the truth. It's time to find the courage to trust in your intuition. You are a practical person, and the decision you need to make is not really as hard as you think. You need to be responsible for yourself, and until you change the situation, you deny yourself self-respect and self-love. Once you've taken the action required, much support will come your way and life will resume as it once was. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of linked with the message of when we had the, where was she? The Knight of Wands, which is I think Charlize Theron in, oh, I've gone blank. I can't think of the movie she was in, but let me just check for you, because there might be a mess. The reason I've been guided to look is because I think there might be a message in that movie, possibly for some of you. So it might be kind of useful to watch that. So where are we? Knight of Wands. Knights, there we go. Charlize Theron in Mad Max. Yeah, sorry, I haven't seen that movie, so I didn't recognize the picture, but I could tell it was Charlize Theron. And this movie tarot is a new deck to me. So anyway, the message is kind of the same about taking action. Like there's something that you already know you need to do, really. There's something that your intuition has been nudging you to do, or make or write or create or whatever it is. And I feel like also that's the message of Maya, like to bloom, find a way to embrace the magic around you. I feel like, yeah, there's a strong message that like there's a need to sort of, with this transcendence card, there's a need to kind of transcend that situation that we had at the beginning with the Five of Cups, because there's something, or this Hierophant person or situation in your life, there's something in your life that's kind of bringing you down, because that gnome card is here as well. And that gnome talks about like kind of being in a grump, if I'm being honest, like down in the dumps. Like you can see he's just squatting. His hands are like, ugh, it's kind of it's sort of a energy of needing to, I'm hearing like pull yourself up by your braces, which is a really odd expression. But the message also from Boulder is that this is very linked with the sacral chakra, and it was all to do with like him kind of stepping into his like creative powers kind of thing and not doing what others told him to do. So I feel like there's this need to kind of like, with all these messages of transcend and rise up and honor your inner force, and like purple chakra fairy was all about honoring your intuition and like rising up out of this like situation that's bringing you down, whatever this 5 of Cups thing is that you were just in or are in, that you're looking at in this quite sad way. There's a need to kind of like work out how to like use that and transcend it, like step out of it somehow. And it might not, it might, I don't really, okay, the reason I'm pausing is because that what I'm channeling through is like they're saying it might not be easy, but I don't really want you to lose hope, because I feel like they're also saying like sometimes things that are easy are not, there's a quote that goes something like, I think is it Bob Marley that says this? Things that are easy are very really worthwhile. And that kind of goes for like people in some ways, and jobs or career paths or stepping into your life purpose or whatever, in the sense that like it's easier to stay in your comfort zone. It's easier to have a partner that where you don't grow and they don't challenge you and they're not a mirror, so they don't reflect stuff back to you that you need to like heal and work on. It's easier to stay in the job that you can just kind of disappear in the corner desk and come in and be comfortable and do day in day out what you've always known to do. It's much harder to transcend. It's much harder to like keep evolving your soul and go with your intuition and go and make something of your life that you really want to do, that really gives you that like, creative, like makes you feel like a bomb ass queen, like this Queen of Wands, which, okay, I'm also going to have, because, okay, they're also telling me to tell you who this is, because most of you probably know, because you probably already know this movie. But there might be an energy in that movie, or just like a message that might be really, really relevant to you. So apologies, while I just find who. Where are we? Wands. Yeah, Lady of the Manor likes money. Queens, there we go. So queens are, oh, it is the Hunger Games. Sorry, I kind of thought it was Jennifer Lawrence, but I wasn't sure which film it was. But it is the Hunger Games, of course. So maybe watch the Hunger Games, or maybe some of you. Okay, I'm hearing. Gosh, okay, sorry if you are in this situation. I feel like some of you are like what was coming through just then is your guides are coming through, kind of saying you're in the Hunger Games at the moment with this Godfather character and the Hierophant. Like there's like this quite scary situation, but like you need to kind of come out on top of that and be queen and like find a way to like have sovereignty over your life and like follow your own intuition and not follow like whatever this controlling force is in your life. And also Hierophant can speak of teacher. So that could be a potential career path for you. If you're thinking about going to teaching, that could be a message for someone. And also following your intuition, which is inner tuition or inner knowing, inner wisdom, inner teacher, or maybe you stepping up into being a teacher. Maybe it's like calling on you to like start honoring your intuition and your inner knowing so that you can share it to other people. But my feeling is more that it's about like, yeah, like just following the guidance from your soul. Dragonfly is a very like spiritual, mystical animal. It's all about like, also there's a lot of blue in this behind it, which is throat chakra, which is all to do with expressing your voice. So pile 2, you've got a lot of crossovers with pile 1, actually pile 2. So if some of you were drawn to pile 1, there might be some messages from there as well. But yeah, there's like this, I'm hearing mercurial energy. So some of you might have some placements in Gemini, like Gemini placements in your chart, like which is ruled by Mercury, planet of communication, or like that there's something about communicating and expressing and speaking your truth and writing your story, or something along those lines. But there's a need to kind of like rise up out of this situation that has been kind of keeping you down. And also, I'm being guided to say with Lord Shiva is like steps are being given. So the more you kind of honor your intuition and tune into it, you'll be given the steps for what to do next. And with the turtle here, this is all about like going with the flow and like trusting in the flow of the universe. I feel like for some of you, you've been on a more, if you have been in some kind of perhaps rigid, hierarchical, corporate type environment or something like that, you haven't really been able to, it's not really given you that freedom that the turtle has. You know, in Finding Nemo, this turtle card always reminds me of the energy from the turtles in Finding Nemo, when they're just like, cowabunga dude, and they're just like on that, like, what is it, the highway, the something, I can't remember. Anyway, they're like, Nemo's going to try and find his dad or whatever, and he's like swimming along, and he comes into contact with them, and they're just like letting the current of life pull them. They're not needing to, like, they're waiting for the right time to go with that current, rather than like needing to carve out their own current in all the currents of under the sea. It's sort of like capitalizing on finding that perfect timing where you can just like go with the flow, and like you'll be showing the steps, your guidance, your intuition will show you the steps of where to go, and you'll be sort of I'm seeing, if you're open to this, and obviously we all have free will, so you know this can happen whenever you're ready for it to happen. But if you surrender and you're open to this, and you're not in this sort of like grouchy, sorry, you're probably not in a grouchy mood, you're probably just in a like, what am I meant to do mood. But you know, if you have been feeling kind of frustrated, I'm getting this slightly like down in the dumps, like, you know, whoa, like what if, like, I've done this wrong, and like now what, and like and kind of you're sort of quite small, you know. And it's like, go with like open to the flow of the universe, and these energies will like pull you really fast, I'm hearing, because you know we had all those fire cards as well. There was a lot of you know, the Knight of Wands and everything, so there's a lot pulling you forward. And with the last message that I got through with the Maiden card here is like, for some of you to kind of get, such a gorgeous card, look at that little face, oh my goodness. For some of you, there's a message to connect with your inner child, and just really allow some time for her voice to come through, because I feel like he has got some really, I'm hearing like adorable or funny, or like or potentially just quite helpful advice actually on like what makes you happy. So it's like tuning into your intuition. Okay, I'm getting a second mention now. For some of you, there was something, because we had the Maker here as well, and I felt like when I pulled this card, for some of you, you're really into things like craft, or making crafts like from nature. You can see this woman is like out in the garden, and she's pulling all these flowers and stuff. So maybe you're some kind of like you do art with natural resources or something, maybe, or you make things in some sense. Maybe you make plant medicines or plant things or something, I don't know. But what, like, connecting with your little inner child self, because that self knew what it liked to make, and that will help you bloom. That will be the thing that will allow you to come out of this energy and into this like really beautiful, expansive energy. So that's all the messages I have for you today, Pole 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please leave a message below if this resonated. I would really love to hear. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining Elle's Temple if you're new to the community, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hi there, beautiful pile 3. If you chose this malachite crystal and the Everyday Witch Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So I'm going to start with a little bit of tarot just to get a bit of an insight on what's been going on for you. Whoop, that one wanted to come out. Beautiful, pile 3, 10 of Pentacles straight off the bat. So I'm just going to pull a few tarot cards to see what's been going on, what's coming up, and then we'll look at the oracle cards that I've pre-pulled. 6 of Pentacles, 2 Pentacles cards. So some of you could be big on earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Ooh, Death and the High Priestess. Yeah, this is kind of a very interesting because it's what I felt with your oracle cards, which we'll go into in a moment. So I feel like for some of you, what I'm hearing is you are going through a bit of a situation where you're moving out of things that were perhaps very stable, very secure, gave you a lot of long-term security and stability. 10 of Pentacles is like the ultimate security and stability. You know, you can see there's like, it's often shown with grandparents in the big house in the background. And you've been pursuing that kind of life for a while. You've wanted to get to a point with the 6 of Pentacles here of being able to be like, I'm hearing like flush with cash, you know, like just essentially like well off enough to be like able to give to those who are, you know, less able, essentially, able to be in a position of generosity. You're very generous spirits, and you know, you just really perhaps have really wanted to be in a position. You're just really generous and compassionate souls, and you really wanted to be in a position to be able to help others out, and be that sort of like, be there for other people, be the supplier for other people, be the happy home for other people, you know, offer that stability and security to others. But with this Death card here, this can symbolize a bit of an ending or a completion of a certain cycle. And I feel like what's happening for you, pile 3, is that you're moving out of a perhaps more earth-related job or career path or something like that. And when I say earth-related, I mean something where like you're well, essentially you might have gone down that path because it gave you financial stability, put it that way. It might not be what, you know, ticks your boxes emotionally. It might be not what your intuition told you to do. It might not be what lights your soul up or whatever, but it was stable, it was secure, and it put you in a position of being able to, you know, feel financially abundant and plentiful and be able to give to others. And that was really important to you, and that was a value to you. But you're perhaps going through a bit of an ending of that cycle or of that way of being or way of needing to operate in the world or type or career path or something. And there's with the High Priestess here, this is my this is my like witchy pal. This is my tarot readers, my psychics, my you know, or healers, Reiki healers, that kind of thing. People who are into like, you know, homeopaths and plant medicine people, and any kind of holistic healers, anything related to kind of, you know, say crystals and witch type things and that sort of thing, or something where you're using more of your, as High Priestess is all about, like, you know, using your wisdom, using your feminine intuition, you know, peeking, I'm hearing like sort of peeking behind the scenes almost, perhaps, which is very much like, you know, some of you might be mediums, you might be psychics, you might be able to just get a bit of a grasp on. You're the sort of person who perhaps your friends might say to you, you know, like you're always kind of one step ahead, or like you're the one who always knows before your friend's going to ring you or something, you know, or before someone's going to ring you. You always know, you're always like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to hear from that person today, or I think this is going to happen or something. You're very tapped in, very tuned in with this High Priestess. So there could be a bit of a like shifting away from this kind of path towards a more perhaps intuitive path or intuitive type role or way of being or something. Let's just see if we can get a little bit more of an insight into what might be going on for my path 3s. Yeah, and the Hierophant. Wow. Yeah, so yoga teacher might be another one. They're doing yoga in this picture, so it could be something related to yoga or health or being some kind of holistic teacher, holistic chef, anything along those lines. But I feel that you're gonna like both High Priestess and Hierophant. They're higher wisdom. They're elevated. There's a sense of coming out of this earth energy and this sort of practical, steady, reliable type. I've got to do that to something a lot more like, well, essentially, it's not to say that what you were doing wasn't important, but Spirit is saying, like, I mean, these are two major arcana cards. We've got the second card in the major arcana and the fifth card, the High Priestess and the Hierophant. So they're both really powerful cards. You've got some really powerful, well, and death as well, which is another major arcana. So you're in a powerful transition right now, pile 3. You're going through a powerful life transition, because major arcana cards are linked with, big life decisions, big life path changes, things like that. And you've got 3 in the first 5 cards. So that is a lot. So certainly coming into some form of teaching, sharing your wisdom, or if not teaching, learning something. You might need to retrain perhaps, maybe while you're still in this, whatever the stable job or position or path is that you're on, stay in that for a bit, but that's kind of ending perhaps. And you're gonna just use the extra money with the 6 of Pentacles if you have been working towards being quite bountiful with your salary or what have you, and you've got enough money put away. It might be to do with training and learning something from a teacher so that you can then go and do it, so that you can go and be this High Priestess, this elevated person, and share your wisdom. I'm just going to see if there's any more messages from the tarot, and then I'm going to move through to the move through to the oracle cards. So pile number 3, Spirit, is pile number 3 on the right path. Wow, yes, beautiful energy. I love this card. Yeah, so this is all about kind of, Knight of Wands is all about like really going towards your passion. Knights are about taking action on something. They're about really going forward towards something. And you're on this broom, so it's like going forward towards your like magical powers. You've got this cat here. He's got a little wand in his hand. And you're flying. You've got this red cape on, and there's this red dragon on the mountain that's blowing fire. But it's almost like this is your power. This is your superpower, but you're a little bit scared of it. It's kind of like this energy of you're a bit reticent of your own kind of power, your own kind of inner talents and skills in this area. Let's see if there's any other guidance. Let's see. Wow, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, so what I'm getting is like some of you are kind of scared that this new path, this like High Priestess path or witchy path or kind of healer path or whatever it might be, something along those lines, yoga teacher path, something that kind of uses more of your feminine wisdom and your feminine intuition and that type of thing. You're scared it's not going to bring you money. So this reticence, because I was asking Spirit to confirm, what is this sort of slight holding back about? Like, why is he not flying towards the mountain? And it's because with the Knight of Pentacles here and bringing forward that coin, it's like you're not quite sure that this new path is going to bring you the same stability and security that this other path that you're perhaps currently on or were previously on would bring you, because we've got that right underneath death here. So that there's like an ending to, where you were, say, doing something for the money, because you and you think that this new thing, I mean, this is, it's a general message, so this might not resonate for all of you. Some of you might be like, brilliant, great, yep, this other thing's ending, fine, okay, yeah, actually, I've got enough coin in the bank. I'm going to go towards this new thing. I love tarot readings. Maybe you're a tarot reader yourself, and you've been watching them for years, but you've never had the courage to like just go ahead and make it happen, or whatever it might be. Or you're a Reiki healer, or you work with, I don't know, like runes, or gosh, I mean, this is a very specific message, intuitive cat or dog, like pet healing. So some of you might be like pet mediums, or people mediums, but anything like that where you're like being a mediator for the spirit world and people, something like that. Let's just see if we can get another message through from Spirit for pile 3. Any other messages for pile 3? Wow. Oh yeah, gorgeous. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely this energy coming from some of you where you are, sorry, turn that the right way up. You are this girl who's blindfolded and hands tied, and there's all these swords around her. The Eight of Swords is all about, like, actually, if you stood up, you would see that you could walk out of the swords because they're not actually so close together you can't get out, and also they're only up to about waist height. So if you stood up, you would know you could walk out, and then you could pick up a sword and kind of figure out a way to, like, untie yourself. It's to do with self-limiting beliefs and keeping yourself, like, small, and it's like you've tied this bandage around your own wrist. Spirit is saying, like, you know, and there's a little cat is behind and going, like, I'm pretty sure if you just push this, like, it'll fall over and you can just walk out. And the cat is kind of symbolic of your intuition. And it's interesting, this is Witch Hat and Witch Broom, and was waiting for her outside of the swords. And it's no coincidence, pile 3, that you chose the Everyday Witch Tarot, right? Like, whenever you pick a certain tarot deck, the artwork and the messages within that tarot deck, that they're specific to that deck, and it's specific to the message that you're meant to get. So I really do feel like it is kind of saying there's something along that type of, you know, maybe some of you are like hedge witches and you're into, like, plants and healing in that kind of way, or some of you are more sort of on that psychic side of things, that more sort of traditional, like becoming kind of some kind of high priestess or healers. But whatever it might be, it's like your witch broom and your witch hat and your power, this fire, is waiting for you. And it's just about, like, giving up these ideas of, like, oh, well, that's not going to bring me money, or that's not going to bring me the stability that I've had in my previous roles or path. And you know, that's one limiting belief. There's another limiting belief, oh, I'll be poor. There's another limiting belief, oh, I'm not good enough. I haven't got a certificate. I haven't trained properly yet. I haven't mastered that yet. That's another limiting belief, you know. And so you've created this little circle of limiting beliefs all around you that are blocking you from stepping forward. So I'm being guided to, that's the tarot portion of your reading. I'm being guided to move on to the I'm just going to leave those to one side for now, to the oracle cards. So let's just have a wee look here, actually. Oh, okay. This must have flown out before. So Ace of Wands, you have got this new beginning, this passionate new beginning. Wands is all to do with passion, creativity, fire. You know, you've got that available to you, and with the ace here, this is like that's a new beginning. That's a start. That's the very start of the deck. So you can absolutely, if you walk out from, you know, your, where was it? If you stand up and walk out from your swords, you can have this new beginning in whatever it is that you want to go into. So that is really gorgeous energy. Okay, let's have a wee look. So we have, for your oracle cards, we've got hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. Beautiful. We have got, from the Aboriginal Oracle deck, acceptance. I feel like there's a double message, double whammy message. I love it when I get double whammy messages. It's like double confirmation from 2 different decks about acceptance and, like, your heart. This is all to do with your heart chakra. And then love here as well. Like, what do you love? Like, what lights you up? Accepting who you truly are, accepting your real skills, you know, or your talents. We've got butterfly. I'm just going to show all of them, and then I'm going to explain them. We've got Psyche, which is allow love to transform your soul. You're ready for it, the soul. We have Los Guna. Her up there. Okay. Then we have got, I wanted to go this way, sorry. Then we've got Archangel Michael, trusting heaven. You are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. We've got Blue Chakra Fairy. We've got the Spider from the Animal Oracle deck, the Kim Crane's Animal Oracle deck. We have got, and we got, look at this, double whammy with love and acceptance. Acceptance, heart, love. double whammy with butterfly, the butterfly oracle card, and the Psyche card, which is the butterfly goddess. She's got the butterfly wings on her back. We've got a double whammy with spider because we got the spider animal oracle and then spider woman, find a way to connect the threads, goddess of creation. My goodness, can't make this up. This is crazy. And then we have laced moon's daughter is another fairy oracle card. So I'm just being guided to say that with this one as well, this is adds 3 and 8 add up to 11, which might mean that some of you are life path 11 numbers, which I just found out recently from doing a video from Stargirl the Practical Witch that numerologically, so life path 11, you can basically, you add up the numbers from your date of birth and that tells you your life path. So add those up, and if you are number 11, this is like confirmation. Number 11 life path numbers are like your star seeds, your high priestesses, essentially, your psychics, your tarot readers, your oracles, your mediums, your connected to the spiritual world. Now, that doesn't mean that that's like actually what you have to go and do as a job. It might be that that's just something that you use in some form in your day-to-day life. Like there's a way to kind of weave that in, and we've got nicely here, Spider Woman, find a way to connect the threads. So there's, you know, ways you can weave that into your life if it's not directly like going down, you know, like, oh, I'm going to go and be a full-time tarot reader or something. That doesn't have to mean that, but it could be useful to look up, you know, potential career paths or things for life path 11, because I've just been guided to mention that. Okay, so wow, so pile number 3, yeah, I feel like just drawing you back to before when we were talking about the issues with safety, security, stability, financial security, needing that like coin to come through for you, not wanting to kind of like step into your purpose perhaps, or having some reticence with stepping into your purpose because of worrying about financial stability perhaps. And with Archangel Michael here, he's saying, trusting heaven, you are safe, surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. So there's this very strong message of like, you know, going towards what you love, transforming. Butterfly is all about transformation, you know, like birthing out of your like chrysalis caterpillar self, which I feel like is the self that was, where are we with the, yeah, it was kind of the self that was going after this 10 of Pentacles, like I need the home and I need the job and I need the money and I need the white picket fence or whatever to feel safe and secure. And it's like your intuition is telling you and your heart is telling you with this heart here to like accept who you truly are and like, you know, trust that you need to go towards this like bigger vision, this like high priestess self. And you're coming out of this chrysalis with this butterfly here. You're coming out of that that old life in a way. You're transforming, and with the soul here in Psyche, it's allow love to transform your soul. If you surrender and allow your heart and your love and your self-acceptance to transform you, it's saying like you are ready for this, you know, you're really ready. And I feel like for some of you with these two fairy cards here are so opposite. So this one here, Lascuna, so I feel like for some of you, you're in this state at the moment. This often speaks of a card of someone who's maybe gone through a little bit of depression or something, because if you look at her wings, they're really sort of a bit battered and like down. And she's got these like massive frog feet. So she's kind of stuck on the ground. She's not able to really go very far. And she's just, yeah. In fact, I think actually she's got her eyes closed as well. So it's like she can't really see, or her eyes are very, if they're not closed, then they're droopy. So she's very tired, very kind of stuck near the ground. Whereas this character here, this Loused Moon's daughter, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I just had to have a sip of water. So with this Loused Moon's daughter, there's this just like such playful, mischievous, lit up energy. And she's got horse feet, which is like, horses are really spiritual animals and very connected with their intuition and also like adventure and travel and everything like that as well, movement. So she's very like, she's looking forward, and she's got a great big smile on her face. So I feel like if you can go through this butterfly process, you can evolve out from this like perhaps depression, and also if you have been in that, and also like some limiting beliefs as well, out of feeling like you can't go forward with this thing that lights your heart up, you know. But with Laos, Moon's daughter here, she's kind of saying, and also Moon's daughter, that's very specific because it's very connected to the, where are we? The high priestess. Look, with the moon. Sorry, that's a candlelight with the moon here. I pointed at the wrong thing. In the oracle ball, it's like, you know, looking to the moon, connecting with your intuition, connecting with your moon cycle. You know, so Moon's daughter is all about, you know, being the daughter of the moon goddess, or being the daughter of, you know, of the feminine path, or the feminine intuition. You know, the witchy way, the high priestess way, the you know. And again, if not doing that for a job, it doesn't have to be what you do, you know, to earn your coin, to earn your pentacles, to earn your money. But it might be something that might be worth training in, or looking into, or studying, or, you know, maybe there's a course you just want to do just to try it out, because it'll bring you happiness and so much more fulfillment than whatever it was that you were doing before. I'm being guided to just talk about now with the, okay, they want me to read the message from the Blue Chakra Fairy book. So give me 1 second, I'll find the page. So, okay, so the Blue Chakra Fairy represents the throat chakra, which is located in the throat area. And it's funny because I haven't had any issues with my throat up until I started doing this reading, and then I started coughing and so forth. So the Blue Chakra Fairy represents the throat chakra, which is located in the throat area. The Blue Chakra Fairy symbolizes your connection to self-expression through speech. She is your ability to speak your truth, which comes natural to you, but is not always well received by the listeners. This struggle to speak your mind has often landed you in hot water and created unwanted attention. These experiences have left you cautious to speak out and be heard. Your fears of persecution for speaking your truth are well-founded and are related to past lives where you've been punished for not surrendering to general consensus. So I feel like for many of you, if you did connect with that sort of witchy side of things, like being some kind of like holistic healer or medicine woman, or something that draws on those like kind of witchy type talents, if there's been a block to you stepping, and we had this Eight of Swords situation here of like believing you're trapped and like imprisoned almost. So it's like this message could well be for you, that there might have been some past lives where you've been punished, and so that's what's blocking you from expressing your truth and expressing that side of you now. These times are different, and now you have to practice upsetting the status quo if you're to be true to yourself. A massive weight will be lifted from you when you finally acknowledge what has been keeping you awake at night. Find the voice from within and own your truth. No more internal conversations. The time to talk is now, or you will miss an amazing opportunity where people will gladly listen to what you have to say. And look, I felt this for you guys. You're meant to be teaching something. People will gladly listen to what you have to say, or teach, or share. You know, you're meant to be a hierophant. You're meant to be a sharer of higher wisdom. Where are we? As long as you are speaking what you believe, then it is your truth. It may not be what others believe, however, it is your reality, and on this occasion, it will be shared by many who don't have the courage to speak out for themselves. Yes, absolutely. And I feel like for many of you, this path won't be very linear, which is why perhaps if you are an earth sign, I'm a Taurus sun myself, so I totally get it, because we are very... Taurus suns who generally just don't really like change, and we like the finer things in life and material things, and we like to go after things that are stable and going to bring the sense of comfort and security and everything like that. So, you know, if you do have a lot of earth signs on your chart, and if you haven't had your chart done, by the way, I would highly recommend. That could be something that could be really useful for you to do at this point in time if you're thinking of transitioning out of whatever it was that you were in before and into this new career as a high priestess, whatever that might involve. Having a look at your chart, because there might be many different facets to you that you need to look at weaving together. Because if you look at the spider here, the spider first of all is all about the divine feminine. So it's like a triple whammy in terms of being like the moon daughter and the high priestess, and the spider woman, spider woman, literally we've got the spider woman goddess here. So it's that same divine feminine energy essentially, and you've got all the colors of the rainbow, all the chakra colors here. So it's very like multifaceted, and the spider is kind of this energy of being in your feminine magnetism, and you're like at the middle of your web, and you attract everything into you. You attract all these opportunities into you, which I think that book, what I just read out, when I was reading out the Blue Chakra Fairy, it said like, now is the time, you'll get opportunities. People are wanting to hear what you have to say. People are wanting to pay you to share your wisdom, so it's important to kind of start weaving these. If you've got all these, like, maybe it's different soul lessons you've learned, maybe it's lots of different courses you've been on, or different like disparate threads of knowledge that you've trained in, or something like that. Maybe you've been doing lots of different things over the years, lots of different, say, witchy things, or whatever it might be. Those are all going to it'll all be things that you can weave into this tapestry of what your life is going to be. It'll all be things that you can draw on and use in this next kind of path that you step into. Because with Spider Woman here, she's kind of saying, find the way to connect all these different threads, all these different things that you've learned, and share. And with the Blue Chakra Fairy, it's like, share that knowledge, share that wisdom. Like don't stay in this down in the dump state. Don't stay upset, or like limited, like with these, where are we, the self-limiting beliefs, because everything is here for you. And also, don't worry about the money. Knight of Pentacles, don't worry about whether that coin is going to come through, because Archangel Michael is saying, like, trust heaven. And I've been guided also to tell you that this malachite crystal might be really useful for you at this time, because it's really, well, first of all, it's connected, it's green, it's connected with the heart chakra. So there was a message here with acceptance. This is linked to the heart chakra, and like accepting who you really are. At like, it's beautiful. It's got this heart here with these wings. So it's like accepting who you are at heart. Yeah, accepting who you are in your heart, loving yourself enough to go after what you really want to do, and what is really you. But it also helps wake up spiritual gifts as well. So it could be quite a useful crystal for you at this time. Okay, beautiful souls, this is all the guided messages and channel messages I have got through for you. I hope that resonated. Please leave a message below if it did. I would really love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining the Elle's Temple community. It's been wonderful reading for you. Thank you for letting me read for you, and all my love, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye-bye. Hi there, Pile 4. If you picked this Labradorite crystal and the Kim Kranz deck, the World Unknown tarot deck, this is going to be your reading. So I'm going to start off with some tarot messages first, just to get a bit of a feel for what you've been going through and what might be coming in for you now. And then we've got some oracle cards I've pre-pulled with some guidance at the end, and we'll go into with the channel messages from Spirit. So 4 of Cups, some of you are definitely thinking of leaving, sneaking off from, scuttling away from whatever situation you've been in. There's kind of, I'm hearing this like there's no love lost. A situation is perhaps boring you at the moment. 4 of Cups is often to do with boredom. And yeah, you're just not really feeling it anymore. It's not lighting your heart up. You're just a bit over it. It's almost like you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt kind of a feeling. So we've got 4 of Swords right off the bat. That might be what you've been feeling with your current path. Let's have a look. We've got, wow, yeah. Six of Swords. So this is like a double whammy message of moving. We had this little rat scuttling off across the top of the cups, and then with Six of Swords, that's often moving on from a difficult situation to, with the rainbow up here, to something much better. Something better awaits. You kind of know that there's a rainbow at the end of this tunnel, but you've got to kind of move through it. There's something to you might be literally moving location. Sometimes Six of Swords can speak of moving location. Wow, yeah, Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's a bit of an ending. I mean, Nine of Swords can often speak of a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of insomnia, that kind of thing. In this case, in this particular deck, it's really the situation you're stressing out is kind of more or less done, with all this like the maggots and the eyes and this kind of very like theme of death and stuff. This is quite an intense deck. But if you were drawn to it, then there's probably a reason for that, and you probably like intense messages. So we also have Ace of Swords. So there's this need to make a decision, or you're going to come into making, I'm hearing like a lightning decision. So that could be like as in lightning fast decision, or the decision will come to you like the way lightning just suddenly strikes. It's like, yep, right, okay, I'm done with whatever that is. I'm moving on to this, and it will just be this very clear, because Swords is all to do with like decisions and the mind and the intellect, and it's this very clear decision to just like, yep, I've got to go forward with this other thing. And it's interesting, you've got this infinity symbol, the number 8, with this snaky skin. So it's like I'm hearing like shit. There could be a couple of messages there. It's like there's something to do with like shedding your skin, like the way snakes regenerate, and they're symbols of regeneration and alchemy and like transmutation, because they can just like shed their skin. And so there's a sense of like, I've got to go to this new me, I've got to evolve and like shed the skin of this old situation, this thing that's kind of dying. Really, if it's not fully dead, it's not quite 10 of Swords, but it's 9 of Swords, so it's pretty much there. It's mostly done, really. You're mostly at the end of it. You're coming to the end of it if you haven't already come to the end of it. Let's see what other messages we've got for my pile 4s. What other messages for my pile 4s? Cards are not being very chatty for you guys. Here we go. Wow, yeah. Period of healing. So we've got 8 of Swords here. So you're kind of interesting, because we had this like 4 of Cups of like you feeling like you need to kind of maybe exit a situation. And then with the 8 of Swords here, it's like, my sense is like spirit, this sword is like spirit pulling you as the butterfly, this and again, symbols of butterflies and snakes. That's very symbols of like regeneration. Like the butterfly goes from, the chrysalis to the butterfly. The snake sheds its skin, and it has a new era. So spirit is this sword here, and it's pulling you out of this toxic or conflicting situation, or a situation that just wasn't really serving you, and so that you can go through this, that you need to go through your chrysalis phase. You need to like be protected and held away from whatever this other situation is that you need to kind of leave behind, or that's causing you a lot of insomnia and anxiety. And like you've got to go through your whole metamorphosis. That was the word I was trying to look for with the snake and the butterfly. Their symbolism is that of metamorphosis, new life, and same with really the energy of the 6 of Swords as well, is moving on from this to rainbows, like to a new life, to a new beginning. Ace of Swords, new beginning, so you're being pulled up and out of something that's not been serving you, in order to heal, in order to birth out of your like caterpillar self into the beautiful butterfly that you really are. And then we've got the Tower right under the 6 of Swords as well, which is definitely to do with like an ending or foundations of things being burned away. Again, very lightning. It's interesting, we've got 2 cards with lightning striking, so it's like you're going to make this very clear-cut decision with the flash of lightning, and I feel like it'll happen when this Tower thing happens. So things that you felt like you were attached to before, foundations that you had built, whether this might be a job, a career path, a certain like path that you felt was perhaps your life purpose, or some track you were going down, is now Spirit saying, that's not so aligned anymore. Maybe you needed to go down, like, it's not to say it was a mistake, it's not to say it was wrong, it's not to say you're on the wrong path, it's just that path is no longer in your highest alignment. It's really important to surrender, and it's going to be burned away. In the same way, I'm seeing this image of like forests. Forests, to a certain extent, naturally, I believe, from my limited understanding of forestation, is that there's a certain process of like sometimes certain trees have to be kind of or bramble or something has to be like burnt away in order to like clear space in the forest floor, because otherwise there's too much stuff that like blocks the light, and the light can't come through and like regenerate all the other plants, and so everything just gets really clogged up. And so that's kind of what they're showing me is like, excuse the really shoddy scientific explanation. But basically the point is that's kind of what's happening to you, in the sense that, or that might be what's happening to your life, and that these things are going to get kind of cleared away or pulled away, or you're going to be shifted away from them. And it might feel quite fast and quite dramatic and quite like, oh my gosh, I've got to make this decision really quickly, because they're just... It's like, it's so that you can survive. It's so that you can go through this caterpillar rebirth and metamorphosis from your caterpillar self to your butterfly self, because you, I'm sorry, I'm channeling really fast. The energy coming through for pile 4, my goodness, it's so fast. I feel like this whole situation is going to happen. If it's not already happening now, it's going to happen really, really soon. And I feel like they want you to, it's like the energy that's coming through is very, very fast. It's like you've got to make the decision quite quickly. It's like lightning speed, things are going to fall away, and not to be kind of scared of that and cling on to them, because it's like they need to be cleared away, like in the same way that a forest fire can just like ravage through and burn through really, really fast and catch fire to like a lot of parts of that, the forest floor quickly, especially if it's been like dried up for a period of time. Not to say like your life has been like that, but it's just saying like, it needs to be cleared out rapidly. These things need to be like cleansed out of your life, so that it can clear way for like new growth to come through, for the sunlight to come down, and the rain and whatever to like regenerate your life and your path. I'm going to get a bit more. That was really intense message. My goodness. Let's just see if there's any other messages from Spirit for pile 4. Any other messages? Oh, we've got okay, here we go. Here we go. What have they flipped over? Yes. Gorgeous energy. Wow, look at this. Beautiful. We've gone from, look at the difference between like this card and this card. Yeah, and the candle is just starting to go mental, because it's like this light that you're stepping into is huge. So, sorry, I just noticed there's a really grubby mark on that card. Sometimes I used to give readings to friends when I lived in Bristol. I gave readings to friends sometimes outside, and that must have got a little bit of mud on it. But hey, let's work with that. That's further confirmation of like, the tower on the forest floor and the earth on the forest floor. Anyway, the 4 of Cups and the 9 of Swords. Look at the black and white, the monochrome, which I feel like has kind of perhaps been a bit like the path that you've been on, or how you felt about things recently. You're in this quite monochromatic situation, or black and white logical type path, or something that's just not been, it's been giving you a lot of anxiety, put it that way, and not much passion or love or emotional fulfillment or anything. And then we have got look at the difference. Look at the contrast between these cards and this card, the Ace of Wands. You've got this passion. Well, you've got 2 aces actually. So that's a double whammy for new beginning. Ace of Swords. You're going to make this new start, this decisive new beginning, this new decision, this new path, in something that's going to light yourself up and you're passionate about. And the seeds, I feel like, are already sown. This blossoming is already going to happen. You're kind of already, and I feel like as well, you're already, if this tower moment hasn't already happened for you, and I feel like for some of you, you're kind of in it possibly, you're already, it's like the chrysalis, you already are the butterfly self. You just haven't opened up your wings yet, and you're not strong enough to like fly off. So Spirit's kind of holding you above. But you've got this gorgeous new beginning coming in something, Mother of Cups, that's going to fully emotionally fulfill and support you. And also with the Seven of Wands here, you are going to be victorious in that. Look, very similar energy with the the wands, the two wands here, Ace of Wands and Seven of Wands. You know, your light is going to shine so bright. It's a similar, like with the flame, and then with this red, orange, and yellow here all around this little stalk, this little blossom stalk or stick. You know, you're this flame. Your inner flame is so bright it can't go out. You know, you're already the butterfly. I'm hearing, like, it's already in you. So you need to get out of whatever this toxic situation is, or whatever this thing is that you know, move away from something that hasn't been a foundation that hasn't been, it isn't a strong one. It's not really fully going to support you for the future. So those are your tarot messages. I'm going to move on now to your oracle cards. So I'm just going to put these to one side. I've pre-pulled these. Now the first, I had a tarot card actually pulled already for you as the kind of overarching theme, and you got for pile 4 the star, which is gorgeous, which I feel like it's two things. It's well, you know, just it is what it says. You're a star, which you are, but also, and it could mean you're a star seed, I'm hearing as well. So for those of you who know what that is, it's a type of soul that comes from, you've had many past lives. You also had past lives in other realms and things like that. So I'm not going to go into all of that now because that'll make this a really long video. But basically, you might be a star seed, which might mean that you're also here to kind of heal, and basically that also, the star also has themes of healing. So that's confirmation of that as well. So that's kind of the overarching energy. Whoops, put that there. So let's have a look now. Okay, for your pile, I got a lot of oracle cards. So I'm just going to see if I can fit them all in. I might have to pause and kind of reshuffle, but let's see how we go. Is that the first one I want to go with? No. Rabbit. Yeah. So we've got rabbit first. Let me just lay them all out and then I'll go into the messages. Ancient knowledge. The self. And look at the similarities of the colors of the self and the star. Like, just crazy. So similar. Kuan Yin, become a channel for compassion, Mother of Mercy. Again, healer. Some of you might be healers. The Shekinah, sacred self. Unleash your spirit. Express your gifts. Dance to the sacred rhythm of life. Beautiful. We've got unity. Yep. Masculine, feminine unity. First card in the Fairy Oracle deck. Can you see that one? Hopefully you can see that one. Hyena. Chernunos, life force. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers increased. Woohoo. Love that. Rhiannon, choose an action to reach your goal. Now is the time. The Horse Goddess. Pele from the Aboriginal Chakra deck. Oh, just move that out of the road. Hope you can still see this. I'm going to move this back. Pele. And the last card was Solar from the Fairy Oracle deck as well, which I'm just going to put here with Pele because they're very similar kind of energy, these ones here. So move that up, move that up. Can we all fit? Yeah, Spirit was really chatty with your piles. Most of the other piles did not get this many cards. Okay, so let's just go into your channel messages that I got through when I pulled these cards for you. So pile 4, my feeling is that for you, many of you have, there's some sort of a ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom, divine wisdom, especially if you are some kind of star seed or healer or something like that. You've got that archetype within you that you can draw on and step into. But with the rabbit here, this speaks of being very scared and sort of very like almost like, it's almost like petrified to go forward, or Like I'm just seeing this like it's almost like that deer caught in headlights expression, like what, me, I'm supposed to do what now, like no, what, I can't possibly do that, that's way too scary. And my feeling is like this is to do with this Eight of Swords card. It's like you're this butterfly, but you're kind of like, and again, like the self, this beautiful with the pearl of wisdom inside, and all this like colorful energy that you can express out of you. And I think with Chernonos, he also said, express your driving passion. There's this need to kind of be yourself, express yourself, be your true self in this world. But at the moment, you're clinging on to something, because with the Tower, that often speaks of like quite dramatic endings or things that need to be, that your higher self almost comes in and like whoops, kind of clears away. And sometimes quite a dramatic, like we said, lightning fashion. So it feels like lightning striking. And it's because previously you've known on some level that you've had this ancient knowledge and wisdom. You've known that you're a channel, you know, that you're a mother of mercy, that you've got healing powers, or, you know, I feel like for many of you, Pile 4, you're the one who, in your friend group, like you're the one that everyone goes to speak, you know, to get compassion from. You're such a compassionate air. Some of you might be really suited towards going into something like some kind of therapy or something. But you've been really scared to kind of go down this path, down this more perhaps spiritual path, down this like becoming a medium or a channel or a healer or a shaman or something like that, or a therapist. You've been holding on to whatever that situation was. There was something that hasn't been emotionally fulfilling you that you wanted to get out of, but you've been a bit scared to. That's just for some of you. You know, some of you might be listening to this and being like, great, yeah, cool, okay, let's do this. This resonates. I definitely want to do this. With unity, there's a need to find that inner union of your inner masculine and inner feminine. So for some of you, you might have been perhaps more in your inner or perhaps operating from a more masculine way of being, or in a more masculine type role, like perhaps a more linear path or something like that. That's been bringing you inordinate amounts of stress, frankly, for some of you. And there's this need to kind of tap into this like very feminine wisdom, you know, with the triple moon and this sort of goddess in the middle. It's like, you know, you've got that wisdom within you. You've got that intuitive wisdom. This is the third eye chakra, ancient knowledge. So actually, I'm being guided to read the message in the book, because the message is in this Aboriginal. This is the Aboriginal Goddess Chakra, by the way, from Mel Brown, and it is just the most gorgeous book. It has the most lovely messages that always resonate so well with clients when I use them in private readings. So let's have a look. Where are we? Ancient knowledge. So yeah, so this is linked with your third eye chakra. So deep within each of us is a sacred place where our most ancient knowledge is kept. These are the secrets of the past, which silently await a rebirth to eagerly. What did I say about rebirth? Sorry, I have to show you this. What was I talking about with the snake and shedding its skin, regeneration, rebirth, the butterfly turning from a caterpillar to a butterfly? Sorry, it's just, I love how this works. I love how all the messages line up and corroborate each other. So, blah, 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 blah. These are the secrets of the past, which silently await a rebirth to eagerly send forth knowledge which has been forgotten. Yeah, this is like feminine knowledge, feminine wisdom, I feel like. The ancient knowledge of many lifetimes lay dormant within the deepest recesses of our past and present memories. We leave such wisdom untapped for fear. What did I say about the rabbit? Fear. For fear of what our responsibilities may be to ourselves and others if we possess such great knowledge. Wow. The messages are lining up so well in your pile 4. We need to allow ourselves to trust our wisdom. Was there a message of trust somewhere? Maybe that was another pile. Pile 3 had a lot to do with trust, but I can't. Yeah. Anyway, we need to allow ourselves to trust our wisdom and cease searching for evidence to back up our thoughts and feelings. It's easier to look to others for answers than to trust ourselves. We each possess knowledge that is unique, as no one else can walk in your shoes and know your stories. Everything we need know can be found within, and it's time to find trust in yourself and your own wisdom. It won't be long now. Your wisdom was never lost, just buried under piles of self-doubt. Your self-trust will soon rebirth. There we go, with this Ace of Swords, a new beginning, a rebirth with that snake. Will soon rebirth, and you will remember what it is like to have the courage to stand in your own power and make your own decisions. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this to stand in your own power and make your own decisions. And we've got the Self as the archetype card, which is all about doing exactly that and coming into your true self, your true multi-dimensional, multicolored, multifaceted, multi-talented self. This is about really like knowing you're a star, knowing you have that healing wisdom within, tapping into your sacred self, your soul self, not your ego self, but your true soul self. What, you know, like your what's the word? Something, it's like essence that can't, like, even when you die, your physical body dies on this earth, your soul essence is like impermeable. Is that the word? I think like it's unalterable. You know, that essence doesn't go away. That's the sacred self, and that part of you needs to be unleashed. Express your gifts, dance the sacred rhythm of life. Very similar to like this pearl of wisdom, ancient knowledge, wisdom that's inside you needs to be spread out into the world, poof, like that. You exploding out into the world like the beautiful multifaceted being that you are. Chanunas, life force, express your driving passion, and sensual and sexual powers are increased. And we also have with the hyena as well. This is to do with hyenas are like a lot to do with like humor and looking at kind of like optimism and looking at the bright side of life and like seeing, yeah, kind of having wit and passion and a kind of creative approach to things. And Chanunos is kind of saying the same thing. It's like have a bit of, you know, maybe for some of you, you have this like ancient knowledge, and the way you end up expressing it, so with Chanunos life force, express your driving passion, is in a way that's like really accessible and like humorous and funny to people. And so you know, you can see that a humorous side of like, say, a spiritual awakening or something, and you can bring that like slightly lighter side in, because it's interesting. It's got this moon with like, it's half white and half black, so it's like kind of, you can see the light, the dark and the light, like the light side to quite a difficult like rebirthing process. And then we've got a lot of just like at the end, fire, passion, again, more passion energy with Pele. She's all about like, you know, she comes out of a volcano here. I mean, you can't get more fiery than that, really. It's like, rise up, sacred women, rise up, or man, sacred man. You know, this is to do with the solar plexus, which is all about shining your light, putting yourself out there. Again, expressing yourself, being authentic, shining your light in the world, knowing who you really are, the self. You know, it's solar energy. It's that putting yourself out there. It's kind of, what I'm hearing is like yanging the yin. So like you've got all this yin wisdom, this divine feminine wisdom, or like intuitive wisdom, third eye chakra, sacred self wisdom, healing wisdom, accrued from many lifetimes. And now you've got to like, boo, rise up out of this volcano and put it out in the world. It's interesting. This is very like sun, solar energy. And you've got solar with, soulless with one of the fairy oracle cards, which is all about that masculine, divine masculine energy, that sun energy, again, solar plexus energy, putting yourself out there, having the sun shine on something and it grows. But also she's holding the moon. So she's holding like one of these crescent moons. She's holding this ancient knowledge above her head. She's coming out of a volcano, like, da-da, here you go, world. Like, this is me. This is who I really am. This is wisdom. This is what I love. You know, boof, just like you're just going to like suddenly light up the sky. And we had that with look at this energy, how similar. We had the Ace of Wands for you in the tarot. So we had Ace of Wands with this like fire, and also the Seven of Wands with that flame, and then this volcano, and then Solus, lots of fire energy, lots of passion, lots of, I'm feeling actually in my gut, there's this like, whoa, really strong, like a surge, like almost like an electrical surge or like a fiery surge that needs to like is like pressing on someone's solar plexus at the moment. It's like, you've got to put yourself out there, you've got to shine your light, you know. And then with Rhiannon, choose an action to reach your goal. Now is the time, the horse goddess. Yeah, and we had, I think I mentioned with, where were we? 6 of Swords here about movement and potentially moving. So this could mean moving jobs, moving countries, moving locations, moving towards your passion or towards this new path, this new way of being, taking action. You know, she's a very action-oriented goddess. She rode very, very fast on a horse, and everyone had to kind of race to keep up with her. And I feel like, and again, I've been racing my words as I've been doing this, and I felt this like pressure, like as I'm channeling messages, the energy comes through in different ways for the different collectives. And for pile 4, I feel like it's twice as sped up as it has been for some of the other piles, because it's like this, like your spirit guides or spirit really wants you to move on this and like move fast. Like, you know, we had that lightning speed. You've got to make a fast decision on something. You've got to move forward. You've got to take that steps. You've got to choose, like, again, balance that masculine, feminine energy with unity. Like, take that feminine wisdom, but you've got to take the masculine. Look at the feminine, how this is like feminine, like, how do I say this? I guess like the womb space, and then the phallus that's coming up. So it's like you've got, that's union, that's masculine, feminine energies combined. You know, the feminine holds space and is receptive and is intuitive and is wise, and then the masculine takes action on that and goes forward with it. You know, life force. You have that driving masculine force to go forward with being your true self, with stepping into your power. I'm being drawn back to say, to remind some of you are channels. Your channels for the goddess, your channels for spirit, your channels for healing. You might be shamans or something. But yeah, you might, I feel like for many of you, you've got many spiritual gifts. Both Chinonos and the Shekinah said about expressing your gifts. So many of you have got all these gifts from past lives, from this life, and you've been sitting on them scared. But like spirit is really, really strongly like being like, they're up there watching you go through all this, like, you know, insomnia and heartbreak and difficult situations, and they want you out. You know, they were pulling you out of that because you're this butterfly and you're a star. Really, at the end of the day, you're an absolute star. You're a healer. For some of you who that resonates for, you're meant to heal, and others of you, it's just be yourself. Like, find what that is, find what your soul essence is, and express your gifts, whatever they are in the world. And you're like this star, and other people are like these little stars. You're just this very multifaceted, multicolored, multi-talented person. So yes, that is gorgeous energy. My goodness, you're powerful beings, pile 4. I'm just being guided to say that with Pele and Solus and Rhiannon and that kind of solar plexus energy, that for some of you, you may need to do a little bit of solar plexus healing, because with this rabbit here, it's like you've been a bit scared to kind of shine your light and be your authentic self and step into this new purpose and this, you know, this new perhaps career, or to really, you know, shine your authentic light. So I'm hearing perhaps, you know, listening to some solar plexus affirmations or music on YouTube or something along those lines. That might be really helpful. And also, I, as a holistic healer, I also offer chakra healing sessions. I will leave my website down below, so have a little look if you are interested in that and feel like you would need some support to go through this rebirth. Remember, we had lots of messages about rebirth with the snake, with the butterfly, with what I was reading about the ancient knowledge, triple whammy message about rebirthing. So you guys are going through quite an awakening, quite a rebirth at the moment. So all my love to you and all my support and all the best with that. I hope that you get you get all the guidance that that you need on this new path. Thank you so much. That's all the messages I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. It's been wonderful reading your energy. Very exciting times ahead for sure. And that is all I have. Have a wonderful rest of weekend and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.